keeping it hot, raw heat, cause a nigga gotta eat.
It ain't funny when a nigga gotta get money. The nigga
Still doing this cause we hungry. Step into the spot, ladies drop it like it's hot. Reppin' the block, make the brothers pop the knots.
It ain't funny when a nigga gotta get money. Nigga
Still doing this cause we hungry.
Copycats is done when tracks is done and my style of rap is sung at the maximum.
Mike here with Najaa. She is running Digital Hollywood. The whole place is stopped because of her panels and stuff she's doing. You know, they actually moved the whole bar. They just brought over to her. They just brought this bar over to her. You know, they weren't satisfied. You know what I mean? You know, with the service over there. So they said we're gonna keep the bar on this side, okay? So Najaa, where are you from originally and stuff?
Originally, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, but stop. I have to say, my business partner's from Cleveland, Dave Stewart. He just moved out here. He escaped. I would say he escaped from Cleveland 2 weeks ago. So he relocated and stuff, you know. So he's out in Cleveland now. But yes, I'm glad that you're here. So what made you come to Digital Hollywood? Was it your first time, or you been here before?
It's my first time in Digital Hollywood. I actually heard about it through a great organization I volunteer with, International Documentary Association.
Okay.
And so I've been to their other events with them, and sometimes I go and help them out on large events. I heard about it, and I was like, this seems like something that I would be really interested in because I'm a filmmaker. So.
Well, I think filmmakers really don't understand how much new stuff is happening. You know what I mean? They understand what the nuts and bolts, shoot a film, get an HD camera, do stuff like that. But then when you talk about all the ways to exploit those films and those new mediums and those new apps, I mean, some people are selling their movies on the apps and stuff.
Right.
So it's like, even when you look at the book, it's kind of mind-blazing on how many different array of panels there are and stuff like that. Did you originally think it was this complicated? I mean, when you first heard about it, or what?
I was aware. I mean, I have a website and I you know, Facebook page, Twitter, and things like that. I was definitely aware, but just being able to think about it from the standpoint of really trying to monetize, you know, your product, because you can put a web series out there, you can, you know, just to get your name known and everything like that, but you have to be aware that they're still trying to figure out how to make money off of it on the internet. So you have to think about it as a way to maybe launch your career in other ways. It's maybe a platform for something larger you might want to do.
You have to be viral, because today, if you're not pushing your brand as a filmmaker and your quote-unquote subject matter, whether it be a fictional film or a documentary, you got to make it viral.
I'm working on a documentary right now called American Africans. I'm working on a documentary called American Africans, and it's basically about my childhood growing up in Cleveland. My parents are part of the Pan-Africanist movement, Black nationalist movement from the late 60s, early 70s, and what they did was they adopted an African religion and African-centered lifestyle. So my brothers and I were subsequently raised that way in Cleveland, Ohio. So while our classmates had names like Lakeisha, Shantae, and Dawn, we were Ade, Lana, Ayo, Deji, Olufemi, and Najaa. So we all had traditional African names. We grew up practicing a traditional African religion. So I'm looking at people who grew up in a similar manner to see if they grew up to in turn espouse their parents' cultural and religious beliefs, and if that, and what kind of hold that sort of Pan-Africanist or African-centered ideal has on today's Black culture.
What do you think, that you're talking about the name game? A lot of people don't understand this, because sometimes people get strength from names. And one thing about African culture was that you would get a name, and that name meant lion or leader,
yes.
and that person, when they were young, would incorporate that name and value into their lifestyle. Whereas today, I don't want to, we're too crazy, like the Pookies, Letitias, and, you know, Letitia S's, you know what I mean?
Right,
you know, sometimes they're so off base that they have no connection to anything. Do you think that's a problem with?
I think it's an issue. I won't say it's a problem, but it's an issue. And the reason why I won't say it's a problem is because those names meant something to their parents when they named them that. So if your name is something that maybe I think is a silly name, you know, maybe
they were high.
You know, they named their child Deshanita or something like that. It doesn't mean anything.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it may not mean anything to me, but it meant something to their parents. I do think that.
Or do you think people are trying to give? See, the thing is this: if I give somebody an original name, like for example, I never heard of a Beyonce. Okay,
right.
You know, that was a crazy name. I said, like, girl, you ain't going nowhere with no name named Beyonce. I asked my first son, Destiny Child, said, that's too hard to pronounce. I'm never going to get there correctly. Now, Beyonce, it's like MasterCard. It's like it's a brand. You know what I mean? So
it's true.
That's not a unique situation to say Oprah, Beyonce. You know what I mean?
When Sade came out, people didn't know that's a Yoruba name from Nigeria, West Africa. So people didn't know that, but they thought it sounded pretty.
Yes.
You kind of get mesmerized by it sounded pretty. I think I get over. My name is Swahili, which is from Africa, Eastern Africa. But I think I get over because people are like, oh, that sounds pretty. So it's like, it's okay. But whereas my brother's names are very Yoruba. Ayodeji, Olufemi, and Adelana. And you're right, I think there is power in those names. My brother Ayodeji, his name means joy increases. He's the second son. My youngest brother is Olufemi. That means God loves me. And my brother, who's right behind me, Adelana, is like honor follows the crown. So those names for us and our family, it grew on us. It took on a meaning. When we were younger, we just wanted to be Sean, you know, Dante, anything, so that we didn't stand out.
Well, see, I would love if that could even go into the viral sense, where maybe it was even an app on Facebook, so I could get my African empowerment name, whatever that might be.
Wonderful.
Because that
I might bite that idea.
Oh, you can bite it, girl.
Okay.
But if you charge it $9.99, I better get 50% cut. You know, but seriously, if you can go, because like my nickname is Money Train because that's a Hollywood type of name. But if I knew, just like someone tracing their roots to Ancestry.com, that there was an equivalent name that I would want to have, that not just personally, like I personally would want you to know, not only my middle name, you know, David or Peter like that, but my African given name that has empowerment to me is this, Najaa, or this, or Kunta. Because it was a funny thing when they had root situation, people said, oh, that's when you get a lot of more African, you got so many Africans from 77 to 83, people born in that era, 75, when Roots came on, because people felt that was a proud tradition, naming somebody Kunta, and the whole story of why his name was the drum, right? I can't believe it.
What's your name?
Kunta Kinte.
When the master gives you something, you take it. He gave you a name. It's a nice name. It's Toby. And it's going to be yours till the day you die. Now, I know you understand me, and I want to hear it. I want to hear you say your name. Your name is Toby. What's your name?
Kunta.
Right, and the fact that, you know, they basically almost had to kill him to break him from his name and from his connection with his ancestral.
Toby, but he was still Kunta. You know what I mean? He lost his foot even at.
No!
But see, that was the deepness. There was no TV that said, I'm going to lose my foot over my name. You want to chop half my name off, I'm going to say I'm Toby. But when I get home, I'm still Kunta. You know what I mean?
Right.
And my grandkids are going to know I'm Kunta. And my great-grandkids are going to know I'm Kunta. And they still going to look for my foot.
Mike's foul for my delivery and soliloquies. I'm deadly as killer bees, but my elegy got you feeling me like Braille. The ebony, 1 to 70, brain and ebony melodies. Cleverly, you drop bombs heavily like in Lebanese. Copping